Hey English 1. So we've been talking about how to use text proof in writing, and I want to give you a good example of how that works. And I want to maybe take a moment to look at the phrases and clauses and words that I'm using that effectively connect ideas in the text with this larger idea in our essential question. So what I've done is I've made an essential question up that is sort of like our question, but slightly different, just to give you guys a taste of how this looks so you can do it with ours. So I've put that question right here. How does racism affect society? So what I've done is I've gone through and I've made this nice little organizer so that we can kind of break this down and see how it's working. So the first thing we need to do is decide on our text proof. And as of yesterday, you guys know I gave you some text proof. So you can pick one of those and use it. And we have one such piece of text proof right here. Oops, why is it not working? Oh, because it wants to be white. So I've picked a quote from page 2. And what's more, our white dentist believed that Indians only felt half as much pain as white people did, so he only gave us half the Novocaine. And notice I've said step 2 and step 3. So step 2 is the text proof, so I've got my quote here. Step 3 is cite your proof, and I want to just point out that what I've done down here, this is called MLA citation, and I'm going to get into that more specifically as we go on. But right now, all you need to know is whenever you have a quote or a piece of text proof that you're using, even if you're paraphrasing, you need to attribute that quote or cite that quote by making sure you have the author's last name and page number in parentheses with a comma in between. And also, if you're doing a quote, you want to make sure that the period is on the outside and the quote mark is on the outside so that they know that this citation belongs with that quote. All right, so from there, I said it's easy to start with step 2 so that you can come up with step 1, because step 1 is going to do two things. It's a topic sense. It's going to inform your reader that you're talking about this essential question, and it's also going to lead into that text proof. So racism exposes minorities to unfair and unfit situations in society. So that is my quick answer to how does racism affect society, right? And obviously I need to connect it more, and I'm going to do that, but I need to have some evidence as to why my claim is correct, right? So I go on to say, one example can be seen below in the medical field. So that's a little, hold on. We need to adjust that. One example from the medical field can be seen below. Boom. All right, and then I have my quote, which we already read. So these are the words. One example can be seen from the medical field, right? So this is telling me that I'm going to give an example from the text about the medical field. All right, and then I do that, and now I need to explain that quote, right? So in this quote, Alexi is telling the reader about the incorrect beliefs of his white dentist, because the white dentist only gave the Native Americans half the pain medicine they were suffering through painful dental procedures, right? So that's not fair. So I need to go on and connect that with a larger idea, not just the topic sentence. So we need to connect ideas in the text . So when I say larger ideas, remember, I'm thinking themes and motifs and essential questions and that kind of thing. So what have I done here? So this says, this affects society because it puts the minority Native Americans at a disadvantage when trying to get health care. If they don't feel like they're going to be well treated, the Native Americans might not be as likely to seek treatment and might go without. Not having medical care means that not everyone in society is going to be well, and that uneven treatment is just plain unfair. So you see here, I've connected it back to this idea of how does racism affect society. So I'm almost answering this question twice, in the first step and in the fifth step. The first step is a quickie answer, right, that needs to be explained. And the fifth step is like, I've given you all this proof, and now I'm really hammering home the idea that this isn't fair and to society, and something needs to sort of be done about it. So the thing that I want to highlight now is just the words and phrases that are really driving home that this is text proof and how the text proof is being used. So notice that I use one example right here, right? So that's telling us that that's telling me as a writer, telling my reader that I'm going to give them an example of what I'm saying is happening in this first sentence, right? And then right here I say in this quote, right afterwards. So that tells my reader that I'm going to be explaining my quote now. And what's more, I don't even just stop there. Notice I put in these little, the one parenthesis, like the one colons, or those single quote marks, there we go, words, because I'm paraphrasing this from the text, right? Because it says white dentist right here, all right? And I only have to do that once. The second time, I think people will get it. And I really just drive home what the quote is trying to say and what that has to do with my topic sentence. And then notice, I'm restating the major part of my essential question right here. So, how does racism affect society? All right. And I could say racism, but right here I'm saying this. In fact, let's change that. Let's make that better. Affects society because it puts the minority Native Americans at a disadvantage. Again, here's the word society. So notice there are, in every single area, in every single step besides the text proof, I'm showing my reader that the text proof is linking to these bigger ideas. And I'm not saying that this is the only way that you can do it, but I'm just giving you one example of being able to do it. So if you have other ways that other words you'd like to use, we're going to share those out in a minute. I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. All right? Have a great day.